I just performed and spoke as one of the keynote speakers, just kind of sharing the information to really help bring awareness and prevention, and just how we can all support the cause and make it our lives better. And she was just telling me about all their wonderful services.
And I think that we actually have to work together, because we can't hit every population, and she has a specialty. Young female adults and young females respond to her, and they will go seek help from people that they trust. And I think that you bring them, and they listen to you, and they listen to your music. And sometimes that's how you get across to people, through music, and then they come and say, you know, this happened to me too, and you're sharing your story. It's just absolutely amazing.
And I personally wrote music like that put me in a position, and I got abused from that being out into the public, and these people looking at me like that. I became a target, you know, and misjudged, and I had to just really go through a lot to clean my image up, to let people know that I'm credible and that I have sense. And you know, they don't understand that. So I like to get into the imaging and the consciousness of them, because sometimes we set ourselves up for certain things, not saying we deserve it, but we can end up in situations and we could prevent it beforehand if we know more information. And I think music is such a large influence on that.
And you know what else? There was one thing that you said in your presentation, in your speech, which I really think needs to be out there, is that don't judge. Because you never walked in those shoes, and people haven't, and you can't judge them. And you know, just because they may not get help the first or second or third or fourth time, you know, you don't stop trying, and you don't judge them. And that's so important.
That's big.
That's so important. And she's a new DA, so you're not going to have some of our cards and stuff having.
You watching Teens for Christ, and ladies and gentlemen, don't judge, because you never know what somebody's going through. Don't judge by what you think. Don't judge by what people have on. Don't judge by what people are driving. Don't judge by what you think financially their status is, because at the end of the day, you know, you just don't never know what situation that someone is in. And as I had stated at my speaking earlier to the community, is, you know, even going through it, you can still be, someone can be smiling still and still up functioning. It's like a functioning alcoholic. You know, at one point, I was a functioning alcoholic. No one knew that I was drinking alcohol because I was good at it. I drove well. I walked out good. I still acted the part, but I could have killed myself, you know, but God protected me. And that's the same type of scenario, as I have been clean, of course, for 10 years with no desire to do it. It took me to get a vision and a realistic understanding to follow and keep myself focused and busy and encouraged by, to get rid of that habit. But it's a similar thing when it comes down to domestic violence. Someone could be smiling, they could be happy, and they could be functioning, and everything can look real pretty, but it doesn't mean that they're not going through it, or they won't encounter it, or they don't need support in some way so that they can stay out of it, or support so they can get out of it. So that's a major point.
I think she is actually saying all the things that need to be said. And what's really important, I think, is that domestic violence has no boundaries. It's not according to race, it's not according to age, and it's not according to how much money you make. It's all across the board. And what's really important, I think, that I really appreciate, is that every community agency can't reach everybody. And what she brings is the youth, and actually reaching youth. And I think as far as the not judging is really important, because, you know, I work for the District Attorney's Office, Victim Witness Assistance Division, and we charge cases, and we do that. And you see people that go back, and we don't judge that, because you can't. Like, it may take, they may go back one time, they may go back 2 times, they may go back 3 times, and it doesn't matter how many times they go back. It matters that you're there always, no matter what. We have to be there as a community and as agencies, and it may be the 8th time, but that will be the best. That may work, and that's what we look for. And we can't. So don't feel bad if it doesn't work the first time. We will be there, and that's, I think that's super important.
It's very important. And the weirdest thing is that, you know, we all, you know, going through it as a team and actually inviting it in. You know, I actually liked for somebody to hit me and give me that attention. You know, not all the time, but just the one relationship. Matter of fact, I started off hitting him first. I was like, what? Bing! You know? And then when he started hitting me, I'm like, woo, he really trying to hurt me, because it turned around where he became jealous and possessive, and and it was uncontrollable, where I actually got scared of him, where I would get places and I would run. As soon as we would stop somewhere, I was so afraid of him, because I seen that he really was trying to hurt me, that I actually opened up the car door and run, and then I didn't care where I ended up at. I just wanted to get away from him, because I was scared he'd get me by myself and beat the hell out of me, and there's a lot of other circumstances. This is my first time actually talking about this in public. No one knows this. I will be writing a book called Hip Hop Mom, How I Made It Over. But this happened, you're welcome. And this happened before hip hop. This is healthy for me, And the craziest thing is, as an adult as well, I experienced it. And there was another angle from being a hip hop image, from some of the energy that I put out in ignorance, and then even in some that I don't care, some fun, and also, just the attraction of being able to accept when there was different times that chasing the wrong vision, or chasing a vision that had a little more to it than just one side, that it put me in a position where I felt like I was in need, and I was fearful to leave a circumstance. So, I allowed certain things to go on, but eventually, with the grace of God, I got into the mindset to get out of it. But people around didn't know that was my plan. So every time they talk to me, they beating me, and they're, it can impact your children. You're talking about me to my kids, and so the kids talk to me, they looking at me like I'm stupid. Everything I say is not credible, because now they're just looking at this one thing. So I don't just teach the children, but I also talk to the adults around it. I talk to the people that are involved altogether, because there's different angles and different information that needs to be given from all aspects, because everybody is affected. And this is something that won't only affect a short term, but it will actually can affect in the future. Even to this day, my daughters still bring up to me, well, Mom, you did this. I'm like, you know what? Look, it's a different side of the story. I tried to share with you and let you know what was going on. You don't never know what you're going to go through. Now they're pregnant, and I'm so thankful.
So children learn that response. And I think one of the things that is really important is that counseling doesn't necessarily work for everyone, which is why we have also at the Family Justice Center is faith-based program.
That's great.
So
that's really good.
You have ministers of different faiths that can be there, and we try to educate the ministers of all different faith backgrounds, because when their parishioners come to them, we want them to be able to say, okay, here's some referrals. And sometimes you need more than just praying. You need also some medical care.
Absolutely.
And so they can
some basics.
They can do their part, and they are a huge part of especially in the African American community, is that they're really people really give themselves over to God, and it's really important. I think that we work around that. And we
having something else to grab.
We're very inclusive of having and recognizing that it's that this center represents everybody in the community.
Absolutely, and I think that's great.